Okay. Hi, I'm Tsushi. Today I talk about beyond syntax highlighting Neovim, unlock the power of Treesitter. So let me introduce myself. I'm engineering manager and developer, and then big fan of Neovim, writing plugins and blogs. So for me in GitHub, X, and blogs. And let me say some special thanks to two companies. One is Treesitter Inc. It's a bronze sponsor of VimConf 2025 model, and this is my former employer. I guess somebody is there from the Treesitter. Maybe raise your hand if you is there. Oh yeah, there. And so if you have some interest in SRE and full stack engineering, just talk to me or somebody over there. And another company is AdMac Inc. It's my current employer. Thanks to them, I'm here today. Okay, so let's start. First, let me ask some questions. Do you know Treesitter? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Oh, looks like almost everybody knows. So keep your hand. Keep your hands. Keep your hands. Keep your hands if you use Treesitter. Okay, good. Keep your hands if you use Treesitter and Vim. No. Oh. There are some. Oh, maybe no. Oh, there is. Whoa, cool. Okay. So I guess I don't need to say about this, but just for sure, let me introduce what Treesitter in general. It's a Python library, and that's enough for today. And in Neovim, it's a built-in feature to support syntax-aware features like syntax highlighting. And in Vim, that's the operating feature to enable syntax highlighting. And maybe somebody over there is using Madsen Vim Treesitter for highlighting. Is it? I'm not sure. But wait a minute. Is Treesitter for syntax highlighting? Is that it? No. Treesitter is just a Python library, as I said, so it's applicable to a variety of syntax-aware features. And Neovim has already integrated Treesitter into many features. Yeah, it's many. So I listed up 10 features, and how many do you think are built in? Right, syntax highlighting, code folding, outline, blah, 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 there are 10. And how many do you think? 3, 4, 5. The answer is 7 over 10. And I just picked up some of them, so there are even more as built-in, and of course, plugins provide many more features. So the power of Treesitter is unlocked already in Neovim. And if you use Vim, sorry for inconvenience, but I have good news today, so don't sleep. It's also for Vim users. It's not time to sleep, all right? Okay, so today's goal is to be aware of Treesitter as a tool to build your own workflow by, first, exploring use cases beyond syntax highlighting. Second, showing inside of Treesitter integration patterns. 3, introducing Treesitter-ls, a language server. This is the good news. Okay, and what I don't cover today is details of configurations and plugin development, and deep dive into Treesitter internals. So let's dive into use cases by Neovim built-in features. Okay, let's run usage, implementation pattern, and insight from variety of features so you can build your workflow. The first one is syntax highlighting. We can't go without saying it. And usage, just run vim Treesitter start, and Neovim will start syntax highlighting if a parser is installed. So below is an example of the Python script. We see some nice code. And this syntax highlighting has 3 important things. One is parser. Of course, we can't parse language without parser. And the parser determines code structure. So quotation mark foo is parsed as string node. And query searches for what to highlight. So if query finds string node, then it is marked as @string capture. And these captures are regarded as highlight groups in Neovim. So we can do colon high @string GUI FG equals black. In this way, we can highlight the foo as black color. And So I guess many people don't know what query and captures are, so let me explain what they are. Query is a language. Oh man, there's new language you have to learn. And to search for code structures, like what we just seen, and it is stored in files per language and per purpose. Like in the config directory, we see query /python/highlights SCM, and so this Python corresponds to language, and highlights corresponds to purpose. And capture is the name of a matched node in a query. So in this case, add string is the capture. Okay, so let's see what happens by using query in demo. Oops, where did it go? Okay, there it is. So here we see black, nothing interesting, just a black script. But if I uncomment some portion and save it and restart is a Neovim Nitrate feature, and then we see string is colored in purple because we have string node is captured as add string by query in the below. And if we do barbers high add string, we can find that the add string is linked to the string highlight. And that's why we see these purple colors. And there are still even more uncommented out codes. So what happens if I uncomment them? We see string content is highlighted as blue with underline. Why? Because we have a capture. Query, sorry. We have a query that says string content inside string is captured as string special URL. Oh, wait a minute. Is Amatsushi URL? Of course not. So we see all string content is colored with blue and underline, but we don't want Amatsushi to have such kind of special highlighting. What we do is here, we also add a predicate, and I restart again. Then we see Amatsushi turns back to purple because this predicate matches what we captured as string special URL, and if it matches to the regex, that looks like a URL. And if it looks like URL, we keep the capture string special URL, so it gets blue with underline. Otherwise, they are kept as purple. Cool. So here are some insights from syntax highlighting feature. Query is a very important thing, and the query can capture complex pattern nodes, such as an S pattern. So like string with quotes is string, and string content is inside it. And also we can do regex matching even more things. And we find that the query is customizable. I restarted many times, and we updated the visualization. And so users can define what to highlight per file type without person modification. You don't have to know details about languages. And the second example is code folding with fold expression. So by using the Vim's option, set fold method to expression, and fold method fold expression to Vim Treesitter fold expression, then Neovim starts folding things with Treesitter. And the implementation pattern is similar to the highlighting. It also uses query. So if we find function definition, the query marks it as with @fold capture. And Neovim determines how to fold such kind of captured nodes by calculating fold levels of each @fold captures. Okay, so the inside is similar. Users can customize foldable nodes per file type without path modification. And the third example is language injections. That's a very cool feature of the Treesitter. So this is a markdown screenshot, and we see the Lua code block is highlighted as Lua code, not as markdown. Because Treesitter has a feature to identify the embedded language. It's not only for highlighting, but in this way, we can apply Treesitter features to embedded languages by recursive parsing, like folding or such kind of stuff. And again, the implementation pattern is similar. It uses query. And so it determines what to inject. So embedded source code is marked with @injection content capture, and corresponding languages as @injection language capture. Okay, so this looks like a quite complex query, but if we find fence the code block, that's the whole region of 5th to 8th line, and then fence code block has info string, and the info string has language node. So we mark it as injection language, so we can detect what language the code block is about. And it will also capture fence contents as @injection content, so we can Treesitter knows where to highlight the Lua code. Okay, so the new insight, the language injection is a very cool feature, so it opens the door to apply language-specific features to embedded content. And the fourth, I guess, is a context-aware pop-up manner. If we right-click on Atsushi, and then it shows context-specific actions. Here is a markdown inline link, and Atsushi is not the URL, but if I right-click on it, we see the open the web browser menu. Now, if we right-click on here, the URL, it's obvious we want to open the web browser, but Treesitter is very smart. We can do something like related code to show same suggestion. Okay, so this one has quite complex query, so I won't explain it here, but if you are interested in it, just ask me later or somewhere else. Okay, so here, quick summary. And so query-based approach is a very common pattern in Neovim. Queries define what to process in language-specific way. And Neovim APIs define how to process often in language-agnostic way. And in this way, users can easily customize queries to meet your needs. All right, let me drink water. And okay, so I have shown how query can be interesting, but maybe you are afraid of how to use it. So if you want to use it, just see help. It's related in Lua Treesitter query, and you can also debug by viewing the parse results with inspect tree extra command and test query with edit query. And if you want more query examples, visit Neovim Treesitter repository for it. All right. And now let's move on to use cases by plugins. This would be more interesting, I guess. And here's a Vim matchup plugin. This is also a plugin for Vim users, not only for new Vim users, but it also has Treesitter integration. So by using it, we can do something like, okay, so if I move a cursor to the if keyword in the if statement, the if, else, and are highlighted. And if I press a percentage key, then cursor moves around, and if else, and such kind of round trip happens. And not only the keywords, but also the matchup supports chords and braces. So this is a very cool feature to move around. And it also uses query. Again, query. Query is very important to capture open meta close nodes. And one thing new is it uses special query files called matchup-scm. Before in the highlight, we see it's in the highlight SCM, but the matchup has matchup SCM, so they won't conflict. People are smart. And so this is an example of the query. If there's a for statement and there's a do keyword and end keyword, query captures them as open loop and closed loop. And insights, so again, the query defines what to match in language specific way, and let Lua code handle how in the language agnostic way. And plugin specific query file is a good pattern to avoid conflicts among multiple plugins. And another example is Sticky Scroll. I love this plugin, and in Treesitter context. So when you have very small window and scrolling, we often lose context. Why? Because, for example, in Markdown, the Markdown heading goes outside the window because the window is too small. If we have this plugin, the plugin will show the parent context at the top of the window as a floating window. So this is line 14, and this is line 3788, but they appear just above the 467, thanks to this plugin. So this is I just showed the example for the Markdown headings, but it can also apply to function, method, and class definitions. And implementation pattern is just same. It uses add context query, add context capture to enable it. Okay, the third plugin is Neovim context VT. It shows context at the end of the functions, methods, and statements. So again, let's say we have very small window, and we only see 4 lines, oh man, and there are 2 end keywords. In such a case, it's almost impossible to understand what this end keyword means. However, with this plugin, we have virtual text that what this end keyword ends. So 8th line ends the if statement, and 9th line ends the function definition. That's very cool, virtual text. And this plugin has some different implementation pattern from others. It actually hard-coded the node types. Oops. Is it coming? Maybe no. OK. So too bad. So like function or class, such kind of stuff, we just have node types. This, in turn, has a heavy dependency on parsers. So if parsers are changed, it will start, the functionality is broken. But anyway, on the other hand, many parsers often share the common node types. So it allows partially language agnostic implementation. Like function appears in many languages, of course, Python, Rust, Go, every language has functions, so we don't have to prepare like Rust /context.scm and Go /context.scm or such kind of language-specific queries are no longer required in this way. I call it a parser-based approach, and so this is a language agnostic because parser tends to share common node types. That's the insight. Okay, now it's my turn. Let me introduce my plugins. Yes. And so TreeMonkey and Vim, it enables quickly selecting the syntactic regions. It's often the case we want to select some specific region, like here. We don't select like ctx.m, but we often select ctx match, column match, the whole meaningful region. To quickly doing it, this plugin uses leveling. So we see, oops, no, stop. Where did it go? Okay. So we see small letters here, J, I, A, G, F, E, A. That corresponds to start of the node. And we also see large A, B, C, D, E, F, H, I. They correspond to end of the nodes. And once I select A here, small a, unrelevant level disappear, but there still remains 4 large letters, A, B, C, D. And once I select large C, then the ctx match is selected. So this is some kind of two-step selection. Why? Because it's often the case the node starts from the same position but ends at a different position. So we need some kind of ambiguous. Oops, I can't pronounce it. Where is it? Okay. This ambiguation is possible. All right. And so here's another different implementation pattern. It gets node ranges of ancestor nodes by traversing syntax tree from the cursor position. So it doesn't use query or node type. We don't care about it. We just traverse the tree. So I call it tree traversal-based approach. It's not only, it's not query-based nor parser-based approaches. And the tree structure is always interest and can be parser-agnostic and query-free. And the last example is TS node marker and VM. Okay, here. Oops, never mind. It's often the case we want to add the special background color to some region, like markdown code block, to distinguish this region has special meaning. And so we want to highlight nodes that satisfy conditions, and unfortunately, the Neovim syntax highlighting just supports partial highlighting, like only the text region, not at to the end of the line. So I needed this plugin to highlight to the end of the line. And there's another example for function. We can highlight here's a main function, and inside it we have inner function, and inner function is highlighted with blue, so we can easily distinguish what's the inner function and what's the outside. And the implementation pattern, one thing is similar. It uses TS node marker highlight capture, but it also supports another implementation pattern that can use user-defined callback functions, and applies additional highlights to regions where these conditions met. And the callback-based approach allows very flexible customization beyond the query capabilities, like complex nesting. And I won't go further, but there are many more plugins like autocode receivers, outlines, text objects, commenting. So just search on GitHub or visit Utcat plugin list. It will show variety of the plugins using Treesitter. So here's a quick summary too. Vast variety of plugins use Treesitter, and Treesitter integration has diverse approaches. I have shown the query, parser, traversal, and callback. So use a way that meets your needs. How many minutes do I have? 4 minutes, all right. So let's skip some portions. And as the last thing, let me introduce yet another approach to bring Treesitter power to editors, not for Neovim. Treesitter-ls is a work-in-progress language server powered by Treesitter. So just for sure, I introduce what language servers are. They provide intelligence tool to variety of editors, like go to definition, find references, folding range, and selection range, and rename. These features are very important in nowadays. And typical language servers are language specific, like Pyrite is for Python, and TS server is for TypeScript. But actually, the language server doesn't have to be language specific. For example, the compiled language server provides AI-powered code completions for any language. Similarly, I am currently implementing Treesitter-ls that can support any language given a Treesitter parser and queries. In this way, we can support, for example, semantic talks for highlighting and go to definition, find references, and so on. So maybe people were curious about it, and will Treesitter-ls replace the language-specific servers? Unfortunately, no, because some require deeper semantic understanding, like type checking. It's impossible by Treesitter. And the Treesitter-ls capable features can be better provided by language-specific servers. For example, Treesitter-ls is just a parser, so it doesn't aware of scope, but language-specific ones can solve the definition based on the scope. So why Treesitter-ls? There are 4 reasons. First one is to unlock availability to any LSP-capable editor. Like what I said at the beginning, Brahms Vim doesn't support Treesitter, but we have Vim LSP plugin, so we can integrate Treesitter-ls by LSP client to start highlighting. Or we can develop any editors as a new editors, and they can even omit built-in syntax highlighting, just provide LSP features, that's it. And second is unlock gaps in language-specific servers. For example, in many cases, language-specific servers have features like go to definition or find references, but in some cases, they miss folding or selection range or such kind of stuff, but Treesitter-ls can provide such kind of missing features. And third one is to unlock difficulty to support niche emerging languages. So there are some people loving to develop new language, but they will no longer have to develop language server at the first step. They just provide Treesitter parser and queries, and that's it. Treesitter-ls will help building the language server feature. And fourth, that's a very interesting thing to unlock injected language workflows. We've seen that Treesitter has a strong injection feature. By using it, we can attach language-specific servers to code blocks or other injected content by Treesitter-ls. So we can do like a go-to definition in the Markdown file. That's very cool. Unfortunately, it's not implemented yet, but I will. OK, so that's it for today. To quickly summarize, syntax-aware features are very powerful, so use Treesitter. And to implement syntax-aware features and start and sponsor my projects, and yeah, that's it. Thanks.